There are two versions of the Elon Musk story. In one, he's a hero saving humanity. In the other, he's a villain tearing society apart. We're putting both stories on a timeline to find exactly where they diverge. Born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, Musk grew up in a turbulent household marked by his parents' divorce and his father's verbal abuse. As Walter Isaacson reveals in his biography, Musk endured severe bullying at school.
Being small and having some violent bullies is a bad situation, you know.
Once beaten so badly, he required hospitalization. Here, the narratives begin to form. On one side, a resilient boy channeling pain into voracious reading of science fiction, dreaming of multi-planetary life to safeguard the species. Proponents see this as the genesis of a visionary, his early hardships forging an unyielding drive to innovate for the greater good. Critics, however, point to emerging detachment. Isaacson notes Musk's self-described Asperger's syndrome, which he says impairs emotional empathy, painting him as someone who views people as chess pieces in his grand designs, potentially prioritizing ambition over human cost.
My aspiration is to do whatever it takes to extend consciousness into the future. That's my goal, to make life multiplanetary as part of extending consciousness into the future.
By 1989, Musk had immigrated to Canada, then the United States, bootstrapping his way through university with odd jobs. He founded Zip2 in 1995, a digital city guide sold for $307 million in 1999, followed by X.com, which evolved into PayPal and sold to eBay for $1.5 billion in 2002. This era advances the controversy's core, Musk's relentless entrepreneurship. Admirers argue his ventures disrupted stagnant industries, injecting efficiency and wealth. PayPal revolutionized online payments, empowering global commerce in ways that democratized finance. Yet detractors highlight the cutthroat tactics. Former colleagues, as reported in a Fortune article on Musk's psychology, describe grueling work cultures where employees faced burnout, suggesting his success stems from exploiting labor rather than pure genius.
There's definitely 2 a.m. texts and 6 a.m. conference calls.
When I used to go into meetings with him, I used to always stop by our barista and I would get a couple espressos and chug that down and then go into the meeting.
In 2002, Musk launched SpaceX with the audacious goal of colonizing Mars, pouring his PayPal fortune into rockets that repeatedly exploded in early tests. By 2008, amid financial ruin, SpaceX achieved orbit, securing NASA contracts. Parallelly, he joined Tesla in 2004, becoming CEO and steering it toward electric vehicles. The hero narrative peaks here. Musk's bets on sustainable energy and space travel position him as a bulwark against climate catastrophe and human extinction. A New York Times deep dive praised Tesla's Model S as a game changer, accelerating the EV revolution and slashing emissions worldwide. On the con side, skeptics decry the environmental hypocrisy. A Guardian report on Tesla's factories exposed hazardous conditions, with workers injured at rates higher than industry averages, framing Musk as a villain who endangers lives for profit while preaching salvation. The timelines diverge more sharply in 2018, a year of public unraveling. Facing Tesla production hell, Musk tweeted about taking the company private at $420 per share, triggering SEC fraud charges and a $20 million fine. He called a Thai cave rescuer a pedo guy on Twitter after the diver criticized his mini-submarine idea. In his own words during a Joe Rogan podcast where he smoked marijuana on air, Musk admitted,
I'm not a regular smoker of weed.
But the stunt tanked Tesla stock. Supporters view this as misunderstood brilliance under pressure. Isaacson describes Musk's demon mode, a hyper-focused state that drives breakthroughs like reusable rockets, arguing his unfiltered style exposes truths others hide. Critics per a Sky News timeline of controversies see it as reckless ego. The tweet storms amplified misinformation, harming reputations and markets, portraying him as a societal disruptor who wields influence like a weapon. By 2020, amid COVID-19, Musk defied California health orders to reopen Tesla's Fremont factory, tweeting, "Free America now." Production resumed, but infections spiked as detailed in a Drum magazine timeline. The pro-argument: Musk's defiance preserved jobs and supply chains, with Tesla emerging stronger, its valuation soaring to over $1 trillion by 2021. He positioned himself as a liberty champion, echoing in a CNBC interview, "This is the time to think about the future." Conversely, labor advocates in a Newsweek legal troubles recap condemned it as endangering workers for profits, underscoring a villainous disregard for public health in pursuit of dominance. The starkest split arrives with Twitter's 2022 acquisition for $44 billion, rebranded as X. Musk fired 75% of staff, reinstated banned accounts, and amplified conservative voices, including Donald Trump's. An ABC News timeline charts the chaos. Ad revenue plummeted amid hate speech surges, with the Anti-Defamation League reporting a 61% rise in anti-Semitic posts post-acquisition. Allies hail this as democratizing speech. In a post on X, Musk wrote, "The bird is free," framing it as dismantling elite censorship to foster open debate, aligning with his hero arc of challenging power structures. Opponents, citing a Wikipedia entry on the deal, argue it transformed a platform into a propaganda tool, exacerbating division. Musk's algorithm tweaks prioritized his own posts, as exposed in internal leaks, suggesting authoritarian control masked as freedom.
And that we obviously need to get rid of the bots and scams and trolls and people that are operating huge bot armies in an attempt to unduly influence the public opinion.
This political pivot deepened in 2024, with Musk endorsing Trump and co-chairing the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, pledging to slash federal spending. A CNN timeline of their feud-turned-alliance notes Musk's $277 million election investment, yielding influence over policy. Proponents celebrate it as efficiency heroism. A Fortune piece on his PTSD-driven intensity portrays him as a reformer cutting waste, like his Starlink aid in Ukraine, which he initially funded before charging fees. In Isaacson's words, Musk's childhood traumas fuel a need for constant stimulation, turning chaos into progress. Critics, in a Slate analysis of his Darvo tactics, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, see villainy. His Ukraine intervention, where he limited Starlink to prevent escalation per Isaacson's biography, risked lives for personal geopolitics, while his Trump ties, as in a weak magazine list of controversies, amplify polarization.
And then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. All those things improve the odds of success.
Recent events up to 2025 intensify the paradox. Musk's Neuralink implanted its first human chip, promising cures for paralysis, yet FDA scrutiny over animal testing deaths, reported in a short-form psychological breakdown, raises ethical alarms. His ex-posts, like one praising Starlink's rapid deployment, bolster the savior image, but feuds, such as algorithmically burying critics, evoke control freakery. A Reddit thread decoding his behavior labels him a sociopath, citing Brother Kimball's comments on emotional voids, while a YouTube psychiatrist analysis highlights genius intertwined with darkness. As the timelines converge in the present, you might wonder, where exactly did the path fork? Was it the childhood scars birthing ambition, or the Twitter throne revealing unchecked power? The divergences accumulate, each event layering heroics with hubris. In this whirlwind of innovation and uproar, the enigma endures. So, who is the real Elon Musk? The visionary savior propelling us to the stars, or the reckless gambler fraying our social fabric? The evidence has been presented. Both sides have been heard. The rest of the story is for you to decide. Share your verdict in the comments. Hero, villain, or something in between, and why?